Good morning, everyone. A very, very happy Saturday. I hope everyone is doing good. Namaste. Welcome to Holistic Conversation. Today we have a guest. She is also very versatile and she is into so many different things. We will get to know her in a short while. We will now just get rolling with the introduction and everything, and then we will meet our guest. I'll just announce her name. She is Diana Collins. Okay, let's get rolling. Namaste. I welcome you to my podcast, Holistic Conversations, with your host, Mamina Das. Join me in my journey, in all of our journey, because we are all unique and we are the universe. Welcome to Holistic Conversations. Okay, here we are. Namaste, Diana. Welcome to Holistic Conversations.
Namaste. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
We are very happy to have you, and we are excited to know you, to listen to you. Just to get started, she is a nurse practitioner and nurse educator as well. And she is an actor, she is a coach, and she has written a chapter in the anthropology book. This was a recent news for me, so we will get to know more about it. Diana, over to you. Welcome to Holistic Conversations.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you having me and having this conversation and meeting everyone. Thank you so much. I'm excited to share a little bit about me. I didn't realize how unique I was until I sat and read my own bio one day. I know it sounds very silly and simple, but it's like it wasn't really true to me until I read it on paper. And it was that profound moment, honestly, for me that it's like, I'm a truly gifted person here. I got some talents here that I didn't realize was lying within me, which all evolved within the last, I'm going to say, 15 years, 10, 15 years. So yeah, so it's wild how I came about this, and I'll share a little bit about my journey. But yes, I'm a nurse practitioner, nurse educator, uh, now a published author, an actress, and I am a Army veteran as well, a mom, now a grandma. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, and it felt really nice when you said that it was profound, and the way you said, really, really, I mean, really, has it really happened? Moments like that are really very crucial and pivotal, because they help us either reflect, realize, uh, love, help us love a little bit ourselves, like, wow, really? Oh my God, I'm capable of something.
No, it's really true. And growing up, I was born and raised in Brooklyn. And growing up, my mom had me really young, which when I finish my book, you guys can read that part too. But my mom had me really young. And so it was one of those things where I wasn't praised and, said how worthy I was growing up as a kid. It was just you're supposed to go to school, get an education, go to work, be a functional member of society. That was the goal. You know, don't have kids before you're ready. it was just a list of to-dos that we had growing up, and being, of African descent, growing up in the city where everything was sectioned and segregated. There were places I couldn't go because if I went there, you were sure to get bullied and have a fight and may not make it home. So you knew internally, because we were raised that way, things we couldn't and couldn't do. So I wasn't really able to really explore a lot like many others did. Now, there were some people that took chances, right? And went into these areas anyway. But that wasn't me. So when I say I learned about myself in these 10 to 15 years, it was because I allowed myself the opportunity to explore who I was, to explore my surroundings and beyond. So that's why I said it took 10, 15 years, because in those other times, it was that I kept my head down and just kept moving, kept moving. Then I had kids, and then you do things that you need to do to make sure they were good, and I made sure I loved on them because I didn't feel that love and security at home. So I poured into them and forgot to pour into me. So I literally for years was giving from a subpar well, because it was never really full. So,
That's amazing. I mean, I understand that back and forth, you know,
mhm.
feeling lost, finding yourself, feeling lost, finding yourself, that constant on and off thing that goes on. That's I think that's very crucial. We cannot say that why it is happening, but I think because of that on and off, we realize, okay, maybe when I go there, I feel good. When I go there, I feel good. That is home for me. I'm going home.
Mhm.
So when you are talking about constantly like uh, doing for them, seeing them happy, loving them, giving them what you did not uh, receive. So I think that is really very responsible way of dealing with your life, cruising your life through that. I think that's amazing. I mean, we are always used to take that as a burden or suffering, or like oh my god, why do I have to do all these things? But as and when you realize that, okay, responsibly, that okay, I didn't get, doesn't matter. Now I know better, so I'm doing better.
Mhm.
So as Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better, like like she says. And it's very practical the way you explained. Okay, I know I didn't get it, so I'm going to give it. So how important is that? I mean, that's amazing. That's just amazing.
And it really is important. And I didn't. These are all things, honestly, I have learned in growing. And you never stop growing. You never stop learning. And the moment you do, that's the moment you might as well just close your eyes, right? Because it's all a part of the evolution of who we are as humans, as people. I tell people, I challenge you to meet people from all walks of life. Make them a part of your circle. It enriches you as a person. And we don't do that enough. I think we're so in this separatism of things. This is your world, this is my world, you can't come over here. But that's not how this world was built. This is just not how things go. And I learned that going through life because I allowed myself that opportunity to explore. And I explore with my children because again, I didn't have that. So I made sure they knew. I said, mind you, I had friends from all over. I grew up in Brooklyn. There's no way that I couldn't have friends from all over the world. Right. So I think that then growing up was where it really hit me that people are different. We're different, and everyone has something we can learn from one another. And that's one of the things that I instilled in my children as I grew and I learned. We can learn from one another. I can learn from my children, even to this day. I can still learn from them, and as they learn from me. But in that journey to self, it's also healing because I had to do work. You had to do that healing work for those traumas and those triggers that you didn't realize were traumas because it was the way things were back then. Every other household you heard was doing the same thing, was going through the same thing. So it was just normal. But as an adult, you learn, yeah, that's not normal. That's not okay. You should know your worth. We should tell our children what their worth is, and let them know then that we love them. Yes, I knew my parents loved me. Don't get me wrong. I knew they did. They provided for me. I never had to worry about where my meals came from. They struggled. They did what they needed to do. But it wasn't until I was an adult that I ever heard my mother tell me, I love you. You know, so it was just those things that, but again, she had to grow too because she was young when she had me. And in all fairness, it took me to, I'm going to say, I was in my 27, 30 years of age where it hit me. My mom was raising herself, trying to raise me. Didn't she didn't know what she needed and didn't get. So how was she supposed to share it with me and do better for me when she was just learning? So it's those ahas that you start to really get as you're growing. So yeah, I was just like, so many.
No, it is all real, Uh, as it is said, like there's a right time for everything. There's a right time for everything. When the time is right, you understand.
Yeah.
Something in your heart opens up and you are like, okay, I get it now.
Hmm.
And we also think like it's too late.
Yeah.
uh, why did it happen so late? Why didn't it hit me earlier? So no answer to that. And there's nothing like too late.
Yeah.
There's nothing like too late. Whenever whatever you realize, that's the beginning. That's how I
Yeah.
feel about it. And we start to feel good about ourselves. It's a resolve within ourselves. It's like opening up that those knots and like just setting ourselves free. It's okay. It's
Mhm.
okay.
It's okay. Freeing that inner child, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And giving that inner
absolutely.
child a hug and saying, it's okay.
Oh my God, yes.
We got this. And that's what I had to do for myself, hug my inner child
Yeah,
and say, you are loved, you are worthy. Every morning I get up and look in the mirror and I say, you are amazing. And this is
yeah.
no makeup, this is
No,
just
no, no. It's
nothing.
just your inner side. That's
And
right.
it's like,
Yes.
you're amazing, you are beautiful, and you are going to handle this, whatever it may be. And that's my morning when I get up every morning. Because you go to the bathroom, right? You get up, you go to the
You
bathroom,
do.
and you have to pass that mirror.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
right.
say, I'm going to use this mirror. So every time I pass that mirror, when I get up in the morning, I look, it's to the left of me. I look to the left and I say, you are amazing. Look at you.
Amazing.
You're beautiful. You're amazing. You got this. And then I go to the bathroom and do whatever I need to do.
No, I just love it. I just love it. I just love it. That's a good distraction, I believe. When I'm going to my walking into my bathroom, I'm like, oh, I think I know her. I think I know
Right? We've met before. Hi. Good morning.
her. That's
And
amazing.
it's
Let's learn
funny
a
because
little.
my husband asked me, who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to me.
Yeah,
This is the first meeting of the day. Good
yeah,
morning.
yeah. Love that. I love that. um, so, how did this nursing happen? Like, were you interested in this? You wanted to do this? How did this happen? How did this
Uh,
career choice happen?
oh, wow. So my mother went to Clara Barton High School in New York, which it was a trade school. And so when she got out of school, she graduated with a nursing degree. She never really, my mom is not a conversationalist, so she never really talked about being a nurse and nursing. It was just things I saw. I would see her get up, put on her white uniform, go to the hospital, come home, take off that white uniform, change. So it was, but there was no conversation in the middle of what it is that she does, what does she do, how does the day unfold. It was never anything. So I never knew what she did. And honestly, to this day, I still really don't know. Honestly. Um, and I tell myself one day I'm going to just sit down and try to have a really candid conversation with her. And I say try because she doesn't open up too much. So I'm going to see. But I went into the Army right out of high school because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Again, my family wasn't very talkative. It was not a big conversation about college with me. With my brother, it was different. With me, it wasn't like this big conversation of what you're going to do when you graduated high school. The goal was just to get me through high school, right? Make sure you didn't get pregnant while you were in high school. So those were the goals. And so, but anything other than that, it was not discussed. So I went to different colleges, Hunter College in New York, NYU, and did those entrance courses to see if I liked it. And I wasn't really sure if it was for me, so I joined the Army. That lovely commercial that came on back in the 90s, Be All You Can Be, it got me. And I have family that were military. You know, I have an aunt who is a Marine who passed away, but she was a Marine. My grandfather was a Marine. I had an uncle who was in the Army. So I had family members who I saw pictures of in uniform. So it's like, why not? I don't know what I'm going to do. It's safe. It gets me to see the world. And I use safe loosely. I use that loosely, but I can find my direction. So I joined the Army. And again, one of those things, silent, toed the line, kept my nose down, did what I could do, was supposed to do, got out of it, and I was a combat medic. Right? So I was like, oh, I'm kind of like saving lives and doing this thing. So I was like, okay. So when I got home, I met up with an old boyfriend. We started dating again, and I said, I need to do something with my. I can't just be loafing around out of the Army. I need to figure this out. Medicine was it. So, to be honest, the trajectory of my nursing career started very at the very bare basics of it because I wasn't sure. So I kind of tiptoed into nursing. That's my dance, my tiptoe dance into nursing. So I started out as a home health aide. Right? So I went into people's homes, helped them out, cooked a few meals, helped them get dressed. I was like, okay, I like people. I can do this. I gotta kind of handle that, right? So then I said, okay, I upped the ante a little bit and I went to be a patient care tech in a hospital. Yeah, let me see if I really, really want to do this for real. Because it's different on the battlefield than it is in civilian worlds. Yeah. So I worked as a tech for a little while. And I said, oh, yeah, I like this. Drew some blood, did some EKGs, did some blood pressures. I could do this. I could do this. So it was really to build my confidence because, again, I didn't have anyone in my corner encouraging me that I can do this. My mom wasn't in my corner being my cheerleader saying, you got this, it wasn't. So I had to take these baby steps to test me. to see if it was me, one, if there's something I wanted to do, and two, if I was good at it. And so I had people who I worked with that said, you're really good at this. You have the heart for it. You have the touch for it. Why don't you go be a nurse? And then I'm still like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, didn't believe them because I didn't think they knew me. I didn't believe them. So I said, I'm going to go be a medical assistant. It seemed like the safer route. It allowed me to make a little bit more money so I can support my children at the time. So I said, okay, I'll try the medical assistant. And back then it was an associate's degree. I went for 2 years, got an associate's degree, took my certification, passed. So I was like, oh, I could do it. I can do it. So I worked as a medical assistant. And then again, you still have people saying, you should go further. You should go get your RN, go on and do this. So baby steps again, because I still did not believe in me. I didn't have that self-confidence at that time. So I said, all right, I'll take a class here and there to build my way. So I did, and and next thing you know, it's that time, that pivotal moment. Are you going to do it? Are you going to sign up for nursing school? Is it happening? So I did it. And here's where I really started to really build my confidence, though. I went to the community college and I went to the nursing advisor and I said, okay, I'm ready to sign up for my first nursing course. And she said, well, we don't have a spot until a couple of semesters, like the fall. And it was like summer. So the next fall. And I said, well, that's too long. Because I was already in that mindset that I was ready and I didn't want to wait. So I said, well, that's too long. She was like, well, slow down doing your prerequisites and then the time will pass. No, I didn't want to do that. Right. So I learned later that this woman was very prejudiced. So she was trying to keep me from going to nursing school, which I learned later from someone else. I was like, oh, that was pretty mean. Oh, right. She don't know me. So I took that no that she was telling me to wait, and I went to a hospital-based program. For the hospital that I worked at, they had a nursing program. And I said, okay, I'm going to go see what they say. So I sat there and I talked. I did the interview. And back then you had a written interview, written application, and an essay. And then you had an in-person one-on-one interview. They don't do that too much anymore. But back then they did. And so I sat and I talked to this woman, and we had a very candid conversation of why I wanted to be a nurse. Why do I want to do this now? So after that interview, I got an acceptance letter, and I was in class that same semester. And I said, then it was meant for me, because otherwise I would have gotten another no. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So I went to nursing school, and by no means was it easy. It was a struggle, raising children, working full time. And I tell my story to my students because my students just see the finished product in front of them in the classroom. And I say, oh no, this was work. this is a lot of work. And I share with them my story. I said, no, I worked full time, a part time and a full time job while I went to school. I still had two little ones at home that I had to make sure got up, got to school, had dinner, had breakfast, all these things. And, I always say, by the grace of God and the universe, the ancestors kept me from just losing my mind, in all honesty, because it was tough. I don't, it's not for the faint of heart, but I say through all that challenge that I found one of my favorite quotes, and I use it all the time. The master has failed more often than the student has tried. because it took a failure in like one of my nursing courses. I think it was mental health, right? I did. I failed mental health. And I don't count it as a true failure because I think in my nursing school you have to get a B to pass. So I got a C in mental health. And they're like, oh, you failed. I said, no, I didn't. But it was in their book of failure. So I said, okay, I'll retake it. Not a problem. But I think I needed to do that. I needed that moment of pause because it was just so much happening at that time that I needed that moment to really think about my purpose, about my children. And so, for whatever the reason, it said, nope, you need to take a moment, pause, and then retake and reapproach all of this. So I did. And so, yeah, so that's how I got into nursing. It was a really a crawl into nursing.
That's amazing. And congratulations for all that.
Thank
So,
you.
what we see is a degree, a certificate, a position, a place in the society, or whatever, according to the society that we live in. But I really saw the steps where you got an opportunity to build yourself step by step, step by step, step by step. And I really loved the way you said you were always with the right people. Go for it. Do this, do that. I mean, somewhere, the universe is guiding you to reach to those right people at the right time, their presence in your life and their guidance. That's just amazing. It's not always family, but it's somebody. It's somebody. It's somebody. And that is, I think, the universe or faith or whatever you call it. Whatever you call it. And it was very nice to listen because sometimes the way you were talking, I could feel that, yes, I'm building myself, I don't know, but I'm just going for it. I'm building myself, trying myself, testing out, just amazing, adventurous.
It was an adventure. It really was. And I tell it that way because it helps the person see it as it being real, because it's very easy to me to say, yeah, I went to nursing school, I went and applied and got in and here I am. It's really easy to say it that way. But I think people really need to see the journey that it took to get there, because it wasn't easy. It really wasn't. And I'm glad you said that the person that's going to support you is not always going to be your family, because I needed that reminder for that. And that's what I needed to learn. And I think that's what the journey was, to show me, to tell me that I needed those people to be able to get to this part in my life, in this journey, that it didn't have to be family. I needed to see that it didn't have to be family, that part.
Best thing is, like, still you were able to build yourself. Nothing stopped you.
No.
Nothing stopped you. It is only
Nothing.
you who can make yourself, and it's only you who can stop.
Mm-hmm.
So that I
Absolutely.
learned from you. Let me try. Let me try. Let me go. Let me do.
1 second. I apologize. I realized my computer was not plugged in and it was going to die.
No, it's
See,
all
real life
good.
moments.
Yeah. No, I just have to say something. There's a background hissing noise that is
Is there? Okay, I
It's a
apologize.
constant hissing sound
Is
that
that
is.
better? Is that
Let's
better?
see. It's echoing now. Is it in loudspeaker or something? But if let's see how it goes.
It's my computer is very old, so I do
I think
very
it's better now. I can hear you better.
okay. So real life moments there. My life is all about real life moments. Uh, I can't wear masks.
I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's
So
just beautiful.
I always tell people I'm honest to a fault and very transparent in the things that I say and the things that I do, because it's very hard to keep up with facades. I don't know how people do it. I give them credit.
I don't know. I think you need a good memory for that, and I
Me
forget
too.
very often.
I have mom brain, okay? I don't remember anything. And now adding menopause to it, forget it. I don't remember anything.
Oh my god, I forgot about that thing. I think that's hitting me as well because I'm forgetting most of the things.
I tell my audience all the time, menopause is real. We just don't remember. Please do not get mad at your moms and your grannies and your wives for forgetting. It is real.
Yes, it is real. Yeah. Okay. Now let's learn something about you uh, being an actress. How did that happen? What did you do?
That's the same thing my husband asked me. What did you do? Like, I don't know. So when I tell, as I told the audience, right? This is a journey in my life. I'm learning about me and learning about different things. And so I learned that I enjoy the arts. I am a very creative person. I paint, I write poems. That's all part of my creativity. So acting, when my children were younger, when I told you I want to give them all the things that I wish I had, and that support, they wanted to act, they wanted to model. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. You try it. If you don't like it, we can stop. It's okay. Um, this is your journey. I'm just here to help you navigate it. So my daughters did it for a while, and I was that mom manager that I was at the side. I was in the cheerleading. I was getting them dressed and going on the runway and doing these auditions, and their reader for them. I was all these things, right? And you, again, I don't know how I managed to do all of that. Mind you, all of that, I was still in school working on a bachelor's and a master's. And so I'm still doing these things because I didn't want to miss a moment of their life. But I still knew I needed to keep building my life. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be tired for a few years in my, in my life and just run on fumes, and my life was ran on fumes. But when they grew up, my oldest went to college and started living her life. My youngest, we moved out to Arizona from the East Coast, so she decided to stay, and I was like, okay, so you have your life now, and I'm sitting here like looking at my husband. And at the time when I decided to do this, unfortunately, his dad had gotten sick, and his dad was in Dubai on a contract of some sort, working. He was working in Dubai and in Afghanistan, but ended up getting sick and ended up in Dubai. And it was really a life or death moment. And my husband spent like a month in Dubai, and I was home by myself. I was like, what am I gonna do? And I'm one of those people that when I'm in boredom, I get creative. And it's a positive creative, because you have some people who get bored and do some really negative things. but it was a positive, creative moment. And I decided I'm going to go to this school and see what they say. Now, mind you, again, still working on that self confidence, that those insecurities. So I did not believe I was pretty enough or any of those things to be on stage. My children are, and yeah, so maybe it may be a little bit of bias. My children are gorgeous. So I just, throwing them in front of a camera was easy because they were photogenic. They were beautiful. They are beautiful. So I was like, oh, I'm none of those things, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I was working on my confidence, working on my insecurities. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna, go out there and do it. People say I'm pretty. People say I have a nice smile. I think, let's see what they're really saying. If it is really true. So I went out and did it and did not expect to get into the school because you had to do a runway walk, you had to read a commercial and do all these things. So I was like, I can't do that. I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm, put my big girl pants on and I'm gonna stand in front of this camera and smile and I'm gonna give it my best. Right. So I did, and I got in. So I went to school and did this acting and modeling and all this. They taught me how to do my makeup, how to dress, how to walk the runway, and how to do commercial TV, all these things, how to audition. Graduated, did all these things. And then went to this big modeling thing, right, an acting thing that they had, and participated in that. So I was like, oh, I can really do this. Okay. Yeah. So again, everything I do is with baby steps. I got to really build myself into to doing these things because even though my intuition is saying, yeah, you could do it, you'll be fine. My mind is still saying, yeah, I'm surely not sure yet. Let's see what this is really about, right? So I did, and lo and behold, I loved it. I loved it. I loved being in the role. I love taking the direction from the director and making it come to fruition for what they envisioned for that character. So I continue to do it. So 6 years later, here I am. I'm still doing it. And I've been in a couple of feature films. I did a major WebMD commercial. I mean, I, and I even today, I got a role to do, and I'm going to meet with the director and the writer, and later on today. So I continue to do it because I believe in it. I believe in me, and so as long as I believe in me, and I keep doing it, I get 100 no's, but out of 100 no's, that 101 is going to be a yes. So that was it. I just jumped and did it. There was no other reason, but I did it. It wasn't anyone that said that gave me a card and said, go be a model, go be. I know. I just did it to build my
That's
confidence.
amazing.
It was about me, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was about me to build my confidence and to build on my insecurities and to heal me. So I did it,
Hmm.
and I'm still doing it.
And congratulations for that. I
Thank
just
you.
love how you um, explore yourself, like, let's go for it. Yay.
That's how I end up in a lot of things.
See, doesn't matter because it is a lot of things for a lot of other people. But as long as you're carrying it well and you are managing and you don't feel it's a burden, you
Yeah.
are happy with whatever you are doing and content. That's it.
Yeah. The moment I feel like it's a burden, that's when I let it go. The moment where I don't find enjoyment in it, I let it go. And I did that for teaching for a little while. I let it go because I did not find the enjoyment in it anymore where I was working. And I realized it was just that I needed to step away and take that pause. I'm all about pausing. And I had to step away and take that pause for a moment and recalibrate me to see if it really is still part of my journey. And it is. I just need to find a different way to do it. So that's the next part. Find a different way to continue to educate nurses my way.
Yeah, that's amazing. And one thing you said is I loved boredom. When I get bored, I get creative. You know, so we need to get bored more often. Not like
Yeah.
why am I getting bored? I mean, it has a purpose. You know, if I'm getting bored, that means it is taking me somewhere. We need to visualize like, okay, what? Maybe it's taking to something that I love, or I can spend time with myself or something that I love to do.
Hmm.
So that was really amazing, and thank you for sharing that. Not many people talk about getting bored. Not many people talk about it.
Oh yeah. Getting bored is real. Okay. My husband gets bored often. It's wild. He has these really I'm bored moments, and that's when he starts to get creative. I've shared with him how to get in that creative space when he gets bored. Make it constructive boredom, constructive boredom instead of destructive boredom, because they're there too, right? Because I told you that there's that negative part of boredom. That's that destructive part where you start, you know, doing things that don't benefit you or can't benefit you. Where you have constructive, where it works for you and it's to build you. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really amazing. And so here we get another validation or confirmation that yes, it's good to get bored, but
Mhm.
don't go into destruction. Just go into creativity.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing. Tell me something about your book that you're talking about. How did that happen?
That was by chance. So a friend of mine reached out to me and says, "Hey, I'm part of this anthology of a group of men and women who are sharing their journey of becoming who they are today as entrepreneurs, as ministers, as writers, whatever they are. But they are sharing their story." And so she's like, "Would you like to write a chapter on and share about you and how you became and you're becoming?" I said, "Sure, why not?" I again, creative, right? Another thing to add to my list. So I did. So I became an author, and the name of the book is Reset and Reset Relaunching by Becoming. So it's a group of like about 40 authors in there, I believe. So yes, I'm one of the chapters in there, and it was a nice first step into writing outside of research writing, right? Because I know that research writing is terrible. It's tough.
Yeah,
Um, it,
it doesn't flow naturally.
it does not. It doesn't. And that was I think that was the biggest problem with finishing my research for my doctorate, because it's like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't flow. It's very choppy. What's happening here?
Wow. So nice to know that everything you wanted to do or liked to do, you have explored and gone for it. Uh, Not like thinking them or visualizing them to be like a big mountain that you have to climb, but little steps, you know, let's see how it goes, let's see how it goes. And you have really given your 100% or whatever percentage. I don't want to bring numbers in here, but your heart was very much present in whatever you were doing, you know.
Hmm.
So I can see that glow in your face, you know, like that makes me feel like you are really content about like and happy about what you did, how you did, and yeah.
Yeah. If it doesn't make you happy, I say just don't do it. If
Mm-hmm,
it doesn't
mm-hmm.
bring you joy, don't do it. You have to have some sort of joy in it. And I had joy writing the chapter. It was reflective for me. And it let me know that, one, I can write. And not to say that my research didn't. My research, again, was work driven, it had a purpose. Even though I made it something that I wanted to research about and write a paper about, it still had an end purpose where it was for something. Whereas writing this chapter, it was cathartic for me because it was that reflective piece of who I am in my life and where I'm going and where I'm continuing to go because I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet. Yeah.
Nope.
That's really wonderful way to say, because I think there's something inside you that's constantly pulling you towards something. I really don't know that energy. I would say sometimes when people are asking me, where do you see? I say, I don't know, but I feel the pull, like it's very strong, like it's an energy. It's
Yeah.
like just pulling you, pulling you, pulling you. And I really don't know.
I know. It's amazing. It's wild. It's a great ride if you just allow yourself to enjoy it. And I'm a mindful practitioner. I do mindfulness. So it's one of those things where I'm in the moment and I remind myself all the time, just be here in this, be present in this moment. Don't think about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow because right now is what's happening. And that's something that I always keep in my mind and just enjoy the moment.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think for me also it's same, like when I'm sitting here, I don't really know what's happening around me. And I think this is a good space which helped me realize, like, okay, you can live life being present and not being insecure. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're present, you're present. There's no duality like you are thinking about insecurity. That's not happening here. So this realization has helped me, like, calm down, settle down, go easy, breathe, take it slow. It has slowed me down. It has, like, no, I don't know about insecurities now. I know that I'm present.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bigger knowing than in investigating on your insecurities. I think I would like to go with my bigger knowing that I'm present.
Exactly. It's less it's less stress to think about, just I'm here and with all the things that are happening around, you have to just be present in your moment, in your space, and just find that peace, that tranquility in that moment, and just let it be. Because you can't tackle anything that you can't handle. I mean, if you can't change it, why worry about it? Why think about it? You can't do anything about it. So
That's a very good sharing. And since we are coming closer to the end, I would like to ask you to uh, tell something from your life that can help others also find themselves, you know,
I
some
would
message for us.
I would say always have those times where you reflect on your moment. I reflect on my childhood. I reflect on my adulthood, raising children, and look at the person I was then and then the person I am today. And just thank them. Thank them for staying fast. Thank them for enduring the pain, the hurt, uh, and just embrace where you are and where you're going, and just find the joy within it all. That if anything, that's my biggest takeaway in everything that I've done. I thank myself for standing strong because there were moments where I didn't think I would be here today. So I say thank you. Thank yourself and be kind to yourself.
And I would like to say amen.
Amen.
That was the prayer for today. Thank yourself.
Thank yourself. It's hard being you,
It is.
and no one can be you but you. So it's hard being you. So thank yourself for being who you are, and be gracious to yourself when things don't happen the way you feel it should, because it happens the way the universe and God made it to happen for whatever the reason, which is not meant for us to know at this time.
And you have beautifully uh, described the thing that I say, be you, be unique, and be the universe. And it was this thing unfolding today, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I loved it.
Again, it was meant to be what it was going to be for this day.
It was wonderful talking to you, Diana. Best
Absolutely.
wishes.
Thank you.
And yeah, I would like to say, like, let's be joyful like Diana. Let's just smile and glow.
Find the peace within and just let it go.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Thank you so much for being with us. It was wonderful talking to you. Have a wonderful weekend
No,
and
thank you
every
so
day.
much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate everyone who's listening, and thank you, Lamina, for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye
Namaste.
bye. Namaste. Thank you. Bye bye.